Baseball season is also coming about. Baseball season is here, but the All-Star game will be upon us pretty soon. And of course, like any amateur poet, I have a poem for it. I think you may enjoy it because I've done this in Vegas. Let me explain in Las Vegas. I spent 10 years in Las Vegas working at Area 51. I spent many more years in Las Vegas after that as retired. I used to MC some shows down at the Union Plaza when they did talent shows. I would MC them. And I would do some of my poems every now and then. And this happens to be one of them. And I choose this one to do it because there's a story of Casey at the bat that was written when, I think back in its 20s, but it was very popular during the 30s, and I think in the early 40s or so. Walt Disney made an animated film out of it and did a very good job. And Foster Brooks wrote a sequel of Casey at the bat from the pitcher's point of view. Now, if you don't know the basic story, Casey at the bat, he was the greatest hitter in the league. And in the final game of the season, which was the payoff game, he was the final batter and he struck out. And that's what the story is about. But I have made one from Casey's point of view. Why did Casey strike out? I like to go to the why of questions. Why did this happen? Well, the story of Casey at the bat is known by many and most. There is even a poem that's very well known that allows the pitcher to boast. Foster Brooks wrote that. But does anyone know of Casey's plight, was it was, and most of all, why? Did his hitter freeze at the plate and allow 3 strikes to go by? Casey looked into the stands as he walked up to the plate, and a beautiful lass caught his eye. She certainly had him hypnotized when the first strike passed him by. He smiled at her as she smiled back, and he turned and looked away. He said to himself, "Get a hold of yourself. You have a ball game to play." But he felt her eyes covering him. He felt it through and through. And the next time he swung the bat, he missed that one too. The umpire yelled, "Strike 2." All is not over, thought Casey. I'll get a hit, no doubt. But he looked at her as he swung the bat, and the umpire yelled, "You're out." And the fans in the stands were very upset that Casey had spoiled their fun. It wasn't the umpire they would have killed had anyone brought a gun. And Casey sat in the dugout a long time after the game. There was a world out there he had to face. Things would never again be the same. And when Casey left the ballpark and walked out into the street, the beautiful lady was standing there. She said, "I think we should meet." They stood and they looked at each other. Their eyes were locked in place. He took the lady by the hand and walked off at a very slow pace. To hear the Casey tell the story about what that night was all about, do you believe he was sure to tell you that night he didn't strike out? But when men swap stories with other men about their conquests and joys, they often stretch the truth a bit. They're as bad as little boys. When Casey and she left the ballpark, to dinner is where they went. And he certainly tried to impress her with all of the money he spent. Casey was as charming as can be, and the champagne flowed like water. She finally got the nerve to tell him she was the opposing team's manager's daughter. Her daddy told her where to stand to be a fatal attraction, and she did what daddy said to his total satisfaction. And what Casey learned of what she did, his laugh was loud and clear. He said her daddy would get his vote for manager of the year. But she knew what Casey was after. About that there was no doubt. But she already did that to him when she caused him to strike out. Well, that's my baseball poem. I hope you like it. I hope you didn't take an offense. I hope you're broad-minded. I hope you know it's just a poem. And I thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.